Welcome to Live Unashamed, where we pause the show and invite members of our team to talk vulnerably about their own recovery, things they're learning, the resources that are actually working, and what it truly means to live unashamed.
Guys, Chris, James, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the best water bottle brand. Everybody has a different opinion, and everybody has a water bottle these days. I see a lot of a Wallace.
Hydro Jug.
Hydro Jug? Why do you say that?
Because it doesn't spill anywhere. It's big enough that I can drink 3 in a day. I get all my water.
Can you take that with you on hikes? I know you're a big hiker. Do you take like a Camelback, or what do you do?
I take a Camelback,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right.
I want to be able to access it. No,
Right.
I'm not going to carry this big, heavy jug around. It's already heavy before you even start adding water to it.
You go on big hikes, right?
Yeah.
Right. What do you think, James?
Well, so mine's not so much about the water bottle. It's about my car and the stupid cup holder.
Oh, I see. That's actually valid.
So
We got people pointing at us like Jaren's over here going, yeah.
so like I got this like Buc-ee's like mug that kind of looks like what's those one that all the
Stanley.
It kind of looks like one of those because it fits in my dumb cup holder.
Right.
But it's not ideal because if it gets tipped over, like some of it spills out.
Then the Hydro Jugs are too big
Yeah, I
to
was
fit
about
in
to
your...
say.
Yeah, and the hydro jugs are so big that it bugs. It does bug. So I just need somebody or a car company to like be cool and do something that will fit your standard 40-ounce like jug, because my fake Stanley cup doesn't keep the ice in it as long as I want, because I'm an ice junkie. I mean, it'll stay in there for 24 hours. I just want my ice to last longer than 24 hours. But maybe that's unrealistic. I don't know.
I would say just get new ice.
Yeah, that probably that probably does it.
James.
And the other thing is I hate using the straw.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm a straw guy myself. I'm hearing you find some real purpose in your search for water bottles, though.
You know, I'll tell you what, it is not a pleasant journey. It's caused a lot of angst.
You know where else we can find purpose, James?
Where?
In our addictions.
Wait.
Does that sound odd to you?
Wait a minute. I can find purpose in my addiction or purpose in my recovery?
I think both. It's if you look at it as a process. What do you think about that, Chris?
Well, the purpose in addiction, there's obviously a purpose in it because there's a reason why you're going to it,
I guess there is a payoff.
right? So there's a purpose behind it. So I'm curious as to what you mean by a purpose in addiction. I understand the purpose in recovery is to find sobriety, to live a lifestyle of recovery, to make changes in your life that allow you to be able to connect with God, to connect with others, to live a totally different lifestyle. Where living or finding purpose in addiction.
Chris, I'm actually really curious. Because you got sober, I mean, not in short order, but, you know, you kind of got it under wraps within, 4 years or something?
Yeah.
Like, did you find a purpose in that 4-year period that caused you to just be like, I'm done? Like, was there a purpose that was super powerful and driving in that sobriety journey for you?
Part of it was just.
I would like to know, was it even purpose driven, or was it driven by something else? That's okay.
It started off like as a purpose for doing it for my wife.
Okay.
So that I wasn't causing harm on my wife and my family.
Okay.
Right. But then when things really started to change is when I changed my purpose, because God said to me, you need to make changes in your life because your family needs you. And so I wasn't doing it for my family. It was like I needed to do that for myself. I get that doesn't sound right because that still says I'm doing it for my family. But the purpose that I found in finding the recovery and was because that's where I was going.
Okay.
Is I hated the man that I became.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I don't want to live my life this way anymore. Like, this is
Okay.
not the lifestyle that I want to live anymore. And like constantly trying to cover my tracks, constantly hiding, finding ways to lie. Did I say the right thing? Did I not say the right thing? Am I going to get a text from my affair partner? Did I delete the text messages? Did I delete everything that I needed to off the computer, or like off my, well, I never looked at it on my phone, but did I do all the things? And I hated that lifestyle. I'm like, this sucks. I'm so much better that I'm so much more than that. And so that's where I started to find my purpose is I deserve better than that lifestyle that I was living.
I was reading. I was
create that.
Well, I was reading. It's called Unwanted the other day.
Jay Stringer.
Jay Stringer.
Yeah.
And he talks about the 6 kind of causes of sexual addiction. I think number 6 is futility. That's his word for a lack of purpose, right? Men without purpose will distract themselves with pleasure. And I've been thinking about that a lot, because the reason I chose this topic is because I'm battling that right now in my own life. I'm like, what is my larger story? What is the real purpose that causes me to wake up and feel fulfillment and be excited to go tackle the day? I'm really struggling with that in my life right now. What I'm realizing as I'm getting curious about it is I don't really like my job. I feel like my skill set is so much more geared towards working with people. I feel like I have a real gift with that, and I'm not using it. And I just feel like joy. I heard this quote the other day: "Joy is the thing that happens when you do what you were fashioned to do." And I don't feel that joy. There's just this lack of purpose in my life, and I realized, as I was trying to be curious and self-aware about it, that's kind of one of these next steps for me as I'm battling addiction. And really right now I'm trying to get sober. Before it was like, hey, I'm going back. I'm going to try to deal with the trauma. I'm going to tackle shame. There's still some presence of like, hey, I'm really trying to like dig into the shame. But now it's like, hey, so like it's time to get sober. I'm healing, and there's, I feel like I can take responsibility and I have a choice for these things. And that's one of the things that seems to be stopping me. So I find that so interesting. How did you guys experience that as you guys were kind of making this transition in your own lives and finding purpose? I guess you shared, Chris. I don't know if James has any thoughts on that.
Well, I was just going to say too, like, you talked about finding that joy, right? There's a purpose behind that, doing something that you love. Because when we're doing those things like acting out, like pornography, women, whatever the acting out is, we're doing something that in the moment can make us feel alive. And the reason why like I stepped out of my marriage is because I didn't have any aliveness in my marriage. So I'm like, I'm going to go find that somewhere else. And so it wasn't until when all that was gone and I'm like, you know what? I need to do something in my marriage to make my marriage alive and feel that aliveness again, and aliveness in my own life, because I just felt so empty and dead inside, and I didn't live a life fully alive. And so I needed to find that was in a healthy way of doing something that made my heart come alive. So that's when I really got into hiking, connecting with a brotherhood, like doing those things, being part of Warrior Heart, all became so many things that happened in my life to make me feel alive. And then that's why I didn't have the drive to go back to even going back to my addiction. It's because I'm like, I don't need it. I feel alive. So that's my purpose, is what can I do to feel alive?
I like that. Yeah. Or connect with my purpose and meaning. Yeah. I think, as I look back on like some of the things that gave me purpose and meaning, that I feel like made significant improvements in my like sobriety and recovery, to me, Warrior Heart, because what Warrior Heart brought me was a sense of purpose with God, and it brought meaning into that relationship that wasn't there before. It brought healing and repair there that was not there before. It also gave me a place to practice brotherhood and like not isolating. And so that and volunteering there gave me like some purpose. And then frankly, starting Unashamed, Unafraid, here with Steve and doing this with Steve.
And me.
And Chris.
Chris always gets forgotten.
Never forget Chris.
I don't ever feel forgotten. No,
Yeah,
I don't.
He knows what he's done for me, and how much he's impacted me. Love you, Chris. Stepping into giving back of like, I'm just a guy in recovery, but I have picked up a few things along the way. Because this was 2018 when Chris and I, like January, February 2018, when Chris and I when Steve decided, he was like, oh, I'm doing this alone. He had a few podcasts under his belt, and he was like, I need to do this in Brotherhood. And so we did that together. And that was 2018. I started my journey in 2012. So I had been to boot camp. I had gone through a significant and serious transformation in my marriage around my codependence with my wife. I had done a lot of work around spirituality. I had done a lot of shame work, and I had done a bunch of my shame adventuring by that time. So I felt like I had something to give back, at least to a degree, in the recovery community. And that gave me a sense of purpose and meaning. And at the same time, I didn't feel alone as I was trying to do my own recovery journey still. So all of that gave me purpose. And in that purpose, it creates this momentum to continue to make healthy lifestyle changes that then decrease the amount of, or the pull or the draw toward, for me, for pornography that would have been there more prevalently before.
Wow. Chris, last thoughts.
I found a lot of purpose in sharing my story, because providing hope. I remember I was in one of my recovery groups, and there was a couple that came in, and the guy was like late 50s, early 60s or something like that. And I'm like, man, I just don't want to be dealing with this for that long, And then he started sharing his story, and I literally leaned over and I said to him, I'm like, that's where I want to be one day. I want to be there providing hope for other people. And God 100% directed my life from that moment on. Not from that moment on. It took a long time before I figured my shit out. But finally was able to when I really got deep into my recovery and started to see myself differently, that purpose is what has kept me in sobriety, of just providing hope and living my life differently so that I can continue to keep doing that. And like temptations will come in and I'm like, no, you know what? I deserve better than that. Or, my clients deserve better than that. Or my wife deserves better than that. Like I say that all the time. And you know how fast that temptation stays in my body for? Like seconds. Because I don't let it sit and stew and stay in me, because I go back to my purpose of, why am I doing this? I want to provide hope for people. That's why I share my message across the world, is because providing that hope is another thing that just makes my heart come alive.
Well, just a side note.
And then thank God for you, Chris, for doing it.
I was going to say, Chris, you were the facilitator at the first 12-step meeting I ever went to. 9 years ago. Right? There's like some real meaning.
And that was for youth, and that was
right. That's like a little pilot program that the church was doing. They're like, let's throw a bunch of 16-year-olds that are struggling with porn in a room and see what happens. And it was beautiful. But, you know, I'm sure you saw Chris kind of pointing at himself when you were talking about that.
James. Pointing at himself, yeah. It's okay.
James, there's some real meaning in that. You found purpose in that. And that's what it's all about. It doesn't have to be like all like turn around and help the next guy in recovery. It's like turn around and help the next guy in life. Turn around and help the next guy in your job. Whatever helps you find purpose. That's how we're doing it.
Right.
But there's something about that. I think that we really connected with that, especially as men. We need that.
It's not about me. And that's where I really want to make sure people understand. It's not about me. It has nothing to do with me when I'm trying to share that hope. It's about other people. It's not about me and being like, hey, look at me and my story and all these things. It is like, no. God did so much for me. And if I can provide hope to just one person, God is just using me as an instrument to be able to help spread his message. And I'm going to use it and keep going. I'm absolutely down for that. Because it's about him, not me.
Yes. Amen.
Men without purpose distract themselves with pleasure. We want to know, guys, how are you finding purpose in your life? How are you not finding purpose in your life? Where are you feeling stuck? We want to hear about it. Reach out to us, Sam, James, Chris, at unashamedunafraid.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember to hop on social media. Follow us at unashamedunafraid. You can follow us, like us, give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, if you're feeling like contributing and want to help this movement move along and get out to more people, you can become an outsider and get access to our bonus content with a monthly donation. Thanks for tuning in. We'll let you go. And until next time, remember to live unashamed.